Hey everyone, how's it going? I have no real idea how to do a video like this because it's a topic that I don't really like talking about. Um, so if you don't already know, just to give give a little background on what I'm going to be talking about today. Marvel Comics about a year ago, just after Civil War 2 happened, or maybe before then, I don't know. But when Civil War 2 happened, I dropped off of Marvel Comics. And apparently then, after that storyline, they brought in a ton of... I guess it started with the aftermath of Secret Wars in 2015, but they gradually started to sprinkle in some more diversity characters. And there was backlash to this, but the backlash wasn't because of, at least to my understanding, the backlash wasn't because of any bigotry or anything. It was because the stories didn't hold up. People are fine, or the comic book... I personally tend to stay off Twitter, but I hear a lot of things that are said on Twitter because I follow people like I Love Comics and Yellow Flash and Diversity in Comics as well, and it's apparent that a majority, not all, there are some good gems in Marvel Comics creative staff, but a large majority of them, I'm not going to name anyone because I don't want to cause any arguments or anything. I don't want any confrontation out of this. I just want to set the record straight and just give my opinion on this whole crazy situation, because it is a crazy situation. When you got some people on Twitter saying to their fans, or to fans, or a fandom of people that have been reading comics for years, basically saying that they're going to drop off because of the low quality of the stories, the influx of this SJW-ness, or social justice warrior-isms, or identity politics in comic books. And from what I've read, the only title where that's been abundantly clear is Captain America. There's tons of identity politics in there. That's why I don't like the story. The other books that are said like that, I tend to stay away from. That wasn't why I went away for a year off of comics, and then I came back and then I started up this channel with Marvel Legacy, and that's when I decided to start up this channel. And the year before that, there were no comic books I was collecting. I was done. I was completely done after Secret Wars 2 or Civil War 2. I started collecting. I collected a little bit before Secret Wars in 2015. I mostly collected graphic novels from the Ultimate Graphic Novels collection, but up until that point, Up until 2015, I didn't collect comic books to the extent that I do now. And then Secret Wars happened, and I jumped into it because I thought this could probably be a good jumping on point. I was both wrong and right, because one, it was a 4-year build up to that in Jonathan Hickman's Avengers, but also it was one of the best stories I've ever read. It's probably the best, probably one of the best things that I still have read up to this day. But yeah, it's kind of funny. It was a major event that got me into collecting comic books, but it's a major event that like made me go away from it, but or at least take a year break from Marvel or comic books in general. Then there's also the thing of why I primarily read Marvel comics as opposed to DC or indie. Independent titles I find very difficult to latch onto. Maybe there are some really good ones there, but I find it very difficult to latch onto a character or characters that I don't have any knowledge of beforehand, which is why I don't usually watch a lot of, which is why movies outside of like ones that are based off of books or off of comic books, like usually like the first movie of a series I generally hate or generally like can't get into, but then like I'm gonna use Rocky as an example. Rocky 1 is my least favourite of the Rocky movies because it's the first one, because it's establishing a character that I don't know, and most of the movie is building up the character, and that's boring, and then it gets to the end and it's the fight, and there's just nothing there for me to enjoy from that film. Rocky 2 is slightly better. Rocky 3 is a lot better than that. Rocky 4 is my favourite, and then it goes downhill. Rocky 5, which I still enjoyed, and if there's something you can say about the Rocky movies is they always have a good soundtrack. All of them. Especially 4. 4 has a really underrated soundtrack, in my opinion. Everyone loves the song from 3. I love the songs from 4. But anyway, back on topic. That's why I don't read indie stuff, is I find it very difficult to latch onto characters that I don't have any exposure to beforehand. That's why I stay away from Valiant as well. Like, maybe after I watch this like Bloodshot movie that's supposed to be coming out, like I might start reading Valiant, but until then, I can't. Also, there's the thing of like all the Valiant titles, unless if they introduce a new one like this week, which I doubt, all of them are like at issue like 10, 11, 12, 50, some of them, and I can't really jump on that. And DC is mostly the story of money. That's why I pick up so many Marvel stuff that I can only put on like 1 or 2 DC stuff, and I don't really want to drop any Marvel books, because all of the ones I'm getting now are books that I enjoy. Like after that terrible Captain America run ended, they're all books that I like, that I enjoy. Daredevil I'm a bit iffy on, but I have to read Daredevil because it's my favourite character. But anyway, and the thing is with Marvel, I keep reading on the hope that I choose the books that I've heard have been good, or that I have an interest in, or that I've stuck with, that I enjoy, with the hope that if Marvel sees, like, they look at the analytics, and if they actually care about what their customers are actually buying, that they'll put more emphasis and effort into those characters than pushing all these other characters that no one cares about, like Riri Williams or Iceman or the Unstoppable Wasp. And I think they're doing that now, even though we did just get like confirmation that Iceman and Unstoppable Wasp are coming back, because Marvel just doesn't know how to do things right. But I'm not. Well, how a lot of people paint it is that it's all bad, and it's not. There's a lot of good stuff in Marvel. It's not at the point where most of Marvel's books are terrible, and there's only like 2 or 3 that are good. It's all of the Marvel books that I get, I enjoy. I personally enjoy. I am not you. You can read what you want. You can enjoy what you want. I enjoy Black Panther. Not a lot of other people do. I enjoyed Venom. Maybe I've heard some other people say they enjoyed Venom. There's another person at I Love Comics that said that Venom's becoming like the new Deadpool. I am getting a bit burnt out with the current Daredevil run, but I Love Comics is saying that it's one of the sleeper hits and something that a lot more people should be reading. And then of course there's going to be some stuff that people agree on, like Hawkman. Everyone pretty much loves Hawkman because it's great. It's the only DC book that I'm reading. So, yeah, it does look like this whole era of Marvel, I hope that it becomes just a footnote, as that was the bad time. Those were the bad times. Like the 90s, when they tried to give everyone like big shoulder pads and stuff like that. I hope that that's what this turns out to be, and in like a few years' time we'll all look back and laugh. Oh, do you remember that time when Tony Stark's mum hit a businessman in the face with a guitar? Wasn't that funny? Like, it will be that, won't it? This, like the things that are happening in comic books now, I don't believe that it will last for longer than a year, even though it has lasted for longer than a year. But I think that they are getting the picture, because they've taken Mark Waid off of the frontlining book, which is Captain America at the moment. Even though their frontlining book should be Spider-Man, but they've taken Mark Waid off of their book, off of Captain America, and they put Ta-Nehisi Coates onto Captain America, which is, I'm cautiously optimistic. Ta-Nehisi Coates can be good, can be bad. And it appears that Marvel has, or someone has given Mark Waid a stern talking to and he's actually listened, or he went back and reread Kingdom Come or some of his older stories and thought, and then he compared it to what he's been writing now with Captain America, and he was like, wow, I've let myself go. It's like that guy who doesn't go to the gym for a year and he's just at McDonald's, and then he looks down and he just sees like a pot, a barrel, and he's like, wow, I've let myself go, haven't I? and that, and like currently now he's going through the gastric bypass surgery to make himself thinner again, and like maybe that's a bad analogy, but who knows. Anyway, that's going off of any topic that might get me in a lot of trouble with people that I don't want to be in trouble with. But yeah, another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, which isn't as important, but I got my first hate comment. On my music video, and I'm gonna. Oh dear. I'm gonna read it out to you guys. I thought it was pretty funny because I thought it was pretty funny when I watched it, or when I read it. I'm just looking through to find it. I like how on all these videos where I read my comments, I always look like I've got a lot, but I don't really. It's just like I get like 2 or 3 a week at a push. At a push, I get 2 or 3 a week. But yeah, there's this guy called Curtis Whedon, and it's not Whedon, it's literally we done. So yeah, look at that however you want. But he's put, you look like a bunch of fucking idiots. Go KYS X. I like the kiss at the end. I like that. It's like the guy who beats you to near death and then just puts a rose on your dying carcass. It's like putting the X at the end. It's like putting makeup on a pig, isn't it? It's still ugly, isn't it? But yeah, I wish you well, Curtis Whedon. I hope you enjoy the rest of your life, and don't and do us all a favour. Try and look out for trucks. We don't want you walking into the street and getting run over by one, do we? Well, anyway, that's been me. That's been my thoughts on like the current climate around comic books, solely Marvel at the moment. But you know, I don't really want to make more videos like this because I don't like talking negatively about things like this. I mean, if you do want to hear more thoughts about this, I will be doing a live stream Q&A on the 20th. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have 50 subscribers by then. If not, oh well, I tried. But, you know, I'll do a live stream Q&A on that, and I might be eating some hot wings as well. So we'll have my Boy Eat series coming back, making a hard swing. We'll be ripping off Sean Evans again. but in all seriousness, I read comics to I and many others read comics to escape from the real world. And if Marvel goes back down the track of how they were a year ago with pushing all of these identity politics characters in there and saying, oh, look at this guy, he's a metaphor for Trump, and all this stuff, and if they keep on doing that, then you're just pushing people away. And yeah, you can possibly say that the SJW takeover, which isn't really that, it's just they're trying something new and they're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what fits, and now they're just trying to do, now they're kind of doing the teen who just left the Disney club and is going down their addiction with drugs and alcohol, and in a year they'll be on their redemption tour. Yeah. But I mean, if this carries on for too much longer, Marvel's not going to be in a good way, and they're just gonna, it's going to be all the worse for it. And people may say that some of the people working there may want to tear down the company. That may very well be the case, but if they tear down the company, then they're not making any money, and you know, everything revolves around money. So if you're not making any money, then you know, what's the point? With all that being said, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that lovely stuff if you want to see my ugly mug in your subscription feed, and hopefully on a more regular basis, because my videos are anything but regular. So like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your family and friends, and peace.